that. And live on Facebook. There's something beeping in my house. Okay.
All righty.
Go back. There we go. All righty. Welcome, everybody. We are live on Facebook as well. So welcome everybody watching on Facebook. Since being in this business, I've witnessed quite a few couples working together. And when I met my first guests, Kelley and Georgie, they told me a little bit about how they lived before starting their transformation. And they also started working a business shortly after that. But they told me a little bit about before how they lived. And I've just watched their love blossom since, the last few months. And it really got me thinking, like, I've watched Allison and Jared, and I know Sam and Rich a little bit, and I thought this would be amazing to talk about. So Kelley and Georgie, I'd love for you to share your little Purium love story.
You're so awesome, Pam. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for putting this together. And hi, everybody out there. Well, you're right. Georgie and I have been together for 22 years. We actually met online, and then I immigrated up from the States. And we thought at that time, if you can get through immigration, you can do anything together, because it's not an easy thing to do, right? Trust me, it's not an easy thing to do. That was a 1.5 year struggle, and we persevered, and we done it. And then, as soon as I could go to work, we were pretty broke, because as an immigrant coming in, you can't work until you are landed. So by the time, I got landed, we were pretty broke. So I went to work immediately. Georgie went to work immediately. And then we started, not to grow apart, because, we still had that love, but it was different, I mean, working 40 hours a week in different places, and it makes it tough, right? So then in 2019, Georgie had a pretty bad fall at work, and she really just couldn't go back to work. So she pretty much retired at that time, because we're getting to that age, right? And about that same time, I fell at work, and a really bad injury to my foot, and was just pretty much homebound too. So here we are, both, at home, and I submerged myself pretty much into the TV. I watched every series that Netflix had to offer, Prime had to offer, Disney had to offer. I mean, like, I could probably recite Game of Thrones episode by episode, and and that's where my head was. And then in January, just fast forward, in January, we met up with Heather, and Heather was on Purium and Superfoods, and he said we followed her home. We followed her home, and said, she looked so great. I hadn't seen her in over a year. She just looked awesome. And we said, we want what you've got there. We both wanted that, and we did. She come 2 days later, and we bought ULTs, and less than, I think, 2 weeks after that, we become brand partners. And we've really gotten closer as we got healthier and working toward the same goal. And, I'm not near as crabby as I used to be. I was the crab. Georgie is always pretty level, and I mean, she's just a sweetheart all the time. I'm the one that can be the crab, right? And it's really leveled out, my mood, and made me healthier. And we're still on the journey, and we're still doing it, and we're closer than we've been in a lot of years. What do you think, George?
And that's true. Yeah, it was a struggle. But my health wise, I wasn't much help for a while there, because when I fell, I had a heart attack, and And then I ended up in the hospital last year with a couple attacks of the pancreas. So like our diet was terrible. And I kept telling Kelley that if we don't get on something, then if we don't change our lifestyle, we're not going to live that. I'm not going to live that long. And Kelley had high cholesterol and I too. And
Blood pressure.
you know, she has heart conditions in her family. So, and you know, we want to live a long life together. And we were looking for something that we could do together. You know, something that we weren't separate doing, like me working in a store, managing a store, and Kelley in healthcare like that. That wasn't really what we wanted. We wanted to do something together. So we looked at buying food trucks, and that was too much work. But this, when we found out about this was perfect. We thought, well, we could do this together, and it's not that physical, and it aligns. I've done healing work most of my life, so it aligns with what I believe in. So helping people, and Kelley's a nurse, so also helping people. So this aligned just perfect for us, and so we started working together. And I do a lot of the widen your reach and share as you care, and Kelley does a lot of prospecting. So we kind of do that together, and it kind of works. So
It works really well. You know, I think that anybody that has the opportunity to pair up and work together as a team in their Purium business, it's just double satisfaction. You'll get closer and you'll make money and you'll enjoy what you do. So thank you.
Wow, thank you for that beautiful share. I just noticed even the way you two look at each other.
Oh,
And yeah, that's pretty sweet. Thank you so much. And as I'm looking at you two looking at each other, I'm also looking at Allison and Jared there. They look like they're totally in love. Like it's pretty amazing what nutrition can even do to your relationship together. So now I'd like to introduce Allison and Jared.
Oh, thank you so much, Pamela, for organizing this incredible event, and for Kelley and Georgie. Thank you for sharing your story. That's like, just, yeah. And, you know, like, it's just what we all manifested. We all manifested this together. So, Jared, well, I actually started this alone. I was introduced to it as a customer just to do this gut repair. And it changed my mental health and my physical health and all these things. Like, it just started to greatly improve. And it's an interesting thing with gut health because it actually improves your confidence. Like, weirdly, that's just what, like, I just noticed, like, I was feeling more confident. And of course, when you're feeling more confident, you can love better, you know, you can be a better, you know, when I was lacking confidence was when actually we were having a lot of conflict between ourselves, like between us, because when we're not confident in ourselves, we're always insecure. We're always looking to something else. And there was a lot of miscommunication between us because of both of us kind of, you know, unhealed in a lot of ways. And then who knew that gut repair would unlock so much of that. But so as I started to feel better, Jared actually naturally started to drink the green juice too, and had,
love it.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think just watching Allison transform, and you know, her mental health was taking a toll on not just her, but like the whole family. You know, she couldn't sleep. She's addicted to all these pills, and it just looked like it was getting worse and worse. Like we actually considered getting couples counseling at one point, but you know, they probably just prescribed more drugs for us or something. So luckily we dodged that bullet. And
We actually did do some couples counseling.
Oh yeah, we went once. Yeah,
I was having really like psychological issues, and they brought Jared in, and it was like, what do we like? Anyway, it didn't lead it anywhere good.
Yeah. So this nourishment, you know, it came into our lives where we were already eating pretty healthy, but this leveled it up completely. And it's how all your organs all your hormones are dictated by the health of your gut. And, you know, when you take care of it consistently every day, you notice these incredible changes, these benefits that you didn't even know about.
And it's just interesting how it just makes you look better. You know, like it's like hard to even, when I look at my before pictures, it's just there, it just, I don't know, the symmetry of my face improved. Like somehow like there's interesting ways that we just like can become our best selves. And, you know, of course, when we're becoming confident and feeling good in our bodies, well, Jared and I naturally, you know, started to improve our relationship a lot. But that was before he actually joined me in the business. You know, I was doing it alone and Jared was working really long hours. So prior to actually why I think I was suffering so much, even in, you know, in my mental health, was literally like, you know, Jared would work for, sometimes he was working on movies for 16-hour days or like 14, like really long. Like when he was working on movies, it was like he was gone all the time. And I was at home with the 2 kids by myself. And it's like, what is life? Like, I was just like, is this, like, this is what life is? Like, I'm meant to be, and we have really long winters in Canada, and just like being like isolated in the winter alone with 2 kids while my husband, while my husband's working all day. And this was what was like socially normal. And I was just praying for something like how I wish, that's why I wanted to go back to work so quickly, was because I was like, I want Jared to not have to work so much because I want to have more time with him. But of course, then when I started to go back to work, it added to my mental health issues. That's where I started to fall back. I had to go on medication because I would like, I needed it to function in these kind of 9-to-5 corporate type of jobs. And they were sucking both of us dry. So when we would even come together at the end of the day, we were both exhausted, stressed out, you know, and there was just, it was never ending, because like, even if we were working as much as we could, there was never ending stress about money. And like, it was like, we could never catch up. We could never catch our breath. And if we went on vacation, it would be, oh, we get to go like for 10 days, like once a year, like somewhere. And so we never got to, like, as a family, just, you know, be together, all of us. We had to put the kids in long hours at school, even longer, because we couldn't do the you know, the pickup and the drop off with our schedules. So when Purium came into our life and I started to do it, I was, you know, just doing it alone. And I was having some, like, it was good, but I was like praying for Jared to come join me in it, because I knew he had skill sets that were actually going to apply to this business. And he didn't even know it. Like, who knew that being an editor would actually be a huge asset in our business? So that was one thing. And Jared's really organized. Jared, I'm like the disorganized one. I'm a little bit chaotic and all over the place, but Jared is really orderly and loves kind of spreadsheets and stuff like that. I can't do that. So I was praying I was like, I wasn't pressuring him. I was really just giving space that he was going to join me. I was manifesting it very strong that he was going to see the vision. And finally he did catch the vision when it was when COVID hit. And when everything started, you know, we went to Belize. This was just right before COVID hit. We went to Belize, and we realized with this opportunity, we were able to take off 3 months and just go into the jungle. And that was just, we saw the value of just that. Like, even though we weren't making huge money at that time, we were just starting out, but we caught the vision. And then Jared, being as, you know, organized as he was, actually caught the vision of a bigger picture for our business that I didn't see even as possible when I was just doing it alone. So I really think couples, you know, it's amazing for everyone, whether you're a couple or not. But, you know, even if you're not in a couple, to call in the people that are going to fill in that, like the partnership, you know, like the people that are going to maybe complement your skill sets. And so,
yeah. And I think like, even if you're not in a couple right now, you maybe know couples that want to be working together. And I was working another job when we first started. This was just a side income thing. And that was great, because as it grew, we grew closer together. We figured out how we could work together more fully, which we never could have done potentially. We would have spent our whole lives, the best years of our lives, in 2 different areas, you know, separated. So this brought us really close together. And
we were not like, it changed the whole pathway of our family and our relationship. It just completely changed the whole what's possible and we can dream big. You know, Jared and I are now coming together. Like we would have never been able to like actually do things we're dreaming of, or even speak our dreams because they all seem so unrealistic. And now we're able to, you know, come together and really create the life that we've always dreamed of with our kids involved. And it's
And just to speak to like the power of the foods, like what happens is I think you can't really love someone else or accept someone else's love until you love yourself first. Like you have to love yourself, and then that invites in love. And I think that's what eludes a lot of people. So this is actually like a great stepping stone to that confidence building. And
Yes.
yeah, I wish that for everybody could have that.
absolutely. And, you know, we're so grateful that we get to help other couples realize their dreams as well and, you know, bring couples together. So I'd love to, Pamela, if that's okay, can I introduce you? I'll introduce Rich and Sam. They are partners that, you know, we met a few years ago, and both of them also were working, you know, really stressed. And like, it was just, I've been loving watching them come together in this business. And so, yeah, please share your story, Sam and Rich.
Yeah, Sam and Rich. Woo.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I agree about this topic, how important it is. And it's crazy how I'm coming up on 2 years in this business, in this community, and somehow I have not spoke to this as a topic. So I was really excited when Pamela, you reached out about speaking on this, because looking back, it is very true for our relationship as well. You know, when this came into my life, because very similar with Allison, this was something I did on my own at first as a customer for my own, you know, healing journey. I was in kind of a rock bottom with my own health, where I was very stressed out. This was right after COVID hit. I had found myself jobless. You know, all the gyms closed down. All of our activism community up in Portland, where we were living, all of that got shut down. So our community that we had been building for about a year kind of got taken away from us, and unfortunately was divided because of, you know, masks and vaccines and everything that came with COVID. The government, everything was just like splitting our community apart. And it was really sad. And that was really taking a toll on my mental health. I have a history with anxiety and depression and stress, you know, not being able to manage that at all. I've never really been taught how to manage that in my life. So I bottle things up and then I blow up. And it was really hard because I got taken away from my job and I found myself unable to go back to work. So I became completely financially dependent on my partner, which for me, I had never been put in that position. I was always someone that could pay my own bills. I was, you know, an independent woman, and I was, you know, very prideful in that way. And I have a very strong work ethic. And so just not being able to go and do what, you know, you're supposed to do, go work your job so you can pay your way, and watching, you know, the toll that that took on him as well, you know, the financial burden, the stressful burden, him having to take on more hours and, you know, a more stressful job. That was also putting me in kind of a bad place. So I ended up with all these weird symptoms, taking me to the doctor, and ended up with 2 different autoimmune diagnoses. And they wanted me to go on prescription drugs and said that was my only option. Kind of almost were using like fear as a tactic to get me to say yes to these things. And I just refused. I had been vegan at this point 5 years. And that was something that came into my life, you know, in a similar situation with my health journey. And I knew what plants can do. I knew the power, you know, of preventative and reversal, you know, care when it comes to holistic health and plants and whole foods. And I just said, no, I'm going to do this on my own. You know, I went on like kind of a year journey of doing juicing and organic and all the right things, getting really nowhere, still unable to take a job on because of the anxiety that it brought on. Masks were still a thing in Oregon, and that just like would spiral me out of control with my anxiety. And then at that point, it was in 2021 when Pyram came into my life it was actually through someone that Jared and Allison, when they're in Belize, I was watching a few people in that community, the story that was happening, and I saw the connection that they had. And, you know, it was a vegan community and they were just kind of like living the dream, and they were all so healthy, so vibrational, like just glowing. And so I started, you know, following a few of these people, and one of them, Ingrid, reached out to me, and she kind of saw that I was struggling and saw, you know, I had told her some of the things, like I also didn't have a job and whatever. And so she presented a solution. And for me, it was like a no-brainer. Everything that she had said, it was like checking all of the boxes for everything I needed in my life. And so I said yes right away. And with him, you know, watching my journey, within a week, I said yes to the business. And so I got to join in on this amazing community of people, which was a huge part for my mental health in the healing journey. And just having like-minded people, because that was something that had gotten taken away, and I never was able to really rebuild that. I was just at home all the time, similar to Allison, you know, while he was at work all the time. And we were, you know, paycheck to paycheck, stressful with money. And we never really were able to, in our whole relationship, we've been together 8 years now, to do any major vacations or take any time away. It was always working. And even sometimes we'd have the same job, but still be, you know, so separate that it was just, we'd see each other on breaks and then that was it. And so with the business, we were able to go and take some time off last year, do van life, you know, go around California. And through this whole, you know, 2-year process, my mental health has completely 180'd. The stress management has, you know, I've been given tools. That was another thing, you know, the self-care and self-development tools that we are given within this opportunity is like nothing I've ever experienced. And so like I'm able to, you know, and actually both of us are able to together communicate more openly, more clearly, because like the confidence, like you guys were saying, is there. I've never been confident. I can't imagine 2 years ago having ever spoke on a call like this. I wouldn't even put my face on camera. I would always be the one, you know, just I would show what I was eating. I wanted to inspire people to eat more healthy, to be vegan, to do the things, you know, but I couldn't ever be the face of what I was saying. And now I'm just so, you know, excited to get out there in front of people and talk about this and to help people. And yeah, it's completely, you know, helped us together, and the way that we work together, the way that we can do this as a team. We didn't even know so many things about each other until this helped us to really speak our truth and be more open and authentic. And so it's been really, really amazing and such a blessing. And so I'll pass the mic to you.
Yeah, so you know, I'll got a lot to unpack, but I'll keep it short. So for me, you know, on my side of a relationship, you know, masculine programming is real. You know, like I grew up in a very macho way, very macho family, sports, athlete. You know, you provide, you know, you bottle things up and you don't talk about them. I was never taught to you know, communicate emotionally and you know, just do, you know, put my head down and do the thing. And so what this has provided me in my healing journey is a way to tap into myself, my authentic self, and tap more into my divine masculine, and how that supports, you know, my partner, my female partner. And you know, on a more emotional level, you know, of course, through our health and healing together, you know, things change physically. You know, we build that confidence that helps us connect better physically, that helps us connect better spiritually, you know, emotionally. You know, I was never taught to work through things. And so, you know, being able to tap in and really, you know, understand, you know, like have those resources available to me to understand what I'm going through helps me to communicate in my relationship. And then having this business, like Sam said, you know, neither of us have really traveled. We haven't done a lot of things. And so being able to get on the road and know that we're going to have 5 paychecks and, you know, a month is pretty amazing. And gave us that, you know, that peace of mind to be able to like, all right, we're going to be okay. Let's do this, you know. But you know, we just like having that goal in business, like, you know, there's a lot I want to do in the fitness world. You know, there's things that she wants to do, and this allows us to use our you know, our knowledge together to build towards the same goal of helping people and, you know, being able to create financial freedom for ourselves, location freedom, of course, you know, build our relationship because we're healing together. And, you know, like, it's just really amazing. It's just a really amazing opportunity. And so, yeah, it's just really helped me shed a lot of layers, you know, of programming that has allowed me to be more present in my relationship. So, you know, that's kind of where my healing is with all this.
Wow, what amazing shares. Thank you, Georgie and Kelly and Allison and Jared and Sam and Rich. And one thing I find is really cool is watching you guys all on social media, just sharing it together. I think that's pretty cool too. Thank you everybody for coming and for everybody watching on Facebook, and whoever invited you here today has a gift code for you if you're interested in getting healthier and growing a business, anything like that. Get in contact and we'd be happy to help you out. And thank you for coming to the Love Zoom.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Pam. You're,
Bye.
we love you.
Thank you. All I did was sit here. and listen. Bye.
Bye.
Great job.